Alright, very good everybody, welcome to another video. I am your personal funky sim pilot. My name is Arkady Gidzenko and I will be your captain for today's flight. And today's flight will take us to Western Europe. We'll be flying from Copenhagen in Denmark to Belgium, to the city of Brussels, using the PMDG 737-700, using real world time, real world weather, EKCH and the Aerosoft simple traffic tool. We're parked here at one of the gates at the Kastrup International Airport in Denmark, Copenhagen. Got the jetway connected, and I felt like doing a simple routine kind of flight, if you will, with some more familiar aircraft, since the last flight this morning we unfortunately crashed in Sydney, so everybody's dead. So there's spring and everybody's just fucking dead. Flight time will be about 1 hour and 15 minutes or so it's a very short hop, really. Let's power up the aircraft and then get everything loaded. So battery goes to on. We align the aiders. Also turn on some lights, the logo light and collision light as well. And ground power is not available yet, so let's request. Let's request the ground power then, that's connecting. Okay, so that's now connected.
Boarding requested.
So let's get our flight plan. Zero 19 knots, it's quite windy. 10 knots at Brussels.
Do you want to board crew? Pilot's boarding starting.
That is awesome.
Crew boarding starting.
See if we can find what the gate is, Bravo 7. Let's also get the catering actually. Bravo 7 is recognized. Cool. So flight plan request. EKCH, EBBR. Set payload and fuel.
Your crew has boarded. Passengers boarding starting.
for the departure and arrival. We'll have Costa next 20, Cruining 370. Block fuel 5.8 and final reserves 2.1. What are the winds? 171001. So out of runway 04 right, the LANGO to Alpha. The arrival at Brussels Airport is the Woody 8 Alpha for 25 right.
Good afternoon.
LS 25 right, Woody 8 Alpha. We have a transition. LILSI.
Welcome on board.
No, so execute. That's our flight plan. With the legs page, all the legs in there. And then the final bit to vectors, so we'll check that out during the cruise. So 5.8.
Hello.
Our planned fuel. Reserves, I believe it was 2.1.
Hello.
Just double check. Reserves 2.1. Cruising 370, 171001 and cost index 20. Cost index 20. That's the wrong button.
Good afternoon.
It was 370, right? Okay.
Hello.
370 for the cruise. And
Boarding pass, please.
171001.
Boarding pass, please.
Transition altitude.
Hello.
5,000 feet, that's correct. So execute, you can accept this N1 limit.
Boarding pass. This way.
04 right.
Hello.
Takeoff 150 degrees.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. 87.8. This is 87.1.
Hello.
And this doesn't change, I think. Takeoff flaps 1, I think.
Hello.
Trim 6.44. And the runway 108.
Hello.
So V speeds, V1 130, V rotate 131, V2 134.
May I see your boarding pass?
I think that's the setup down here.
Good afternoon.
Catering vehicles are on their way.
May I see your boarding pass? This way. Welcome on board.
Turn on the yaw damper. And let's get the fuel pumps open. Start up the APU.
May I see your boarding pass?
Cruising altitude 370. Not current altitude next to 0, so that's okay. We'll go straight to flight level 370. Runway heading 037. This door doesn't open, does it? So the passengers are boarding and they're also getting food to the plane. Let's see if we can just walk through these doors. I believe we have superpowers. Oh, how are you doing? And the passengers are popping in with Quasimodo faces. But luckily there's catering, so they can just say they gave me water. So we're going to call the cabin crew at Esmeralda. So that's the catering service wrapping up. We also have all the baggage on board as well. APU is available. Let's turn on the APU bleed and the APU generators, and we can disconnect the ground power. Ground power release. 118 out of 133 passengers on board now. So our departures, our route will be very simple. So 04 right. Take a right turn after 7.3 miles. Go heading 156 for 8.8 miles. Take a right turn for 7.6 miles to heading 222. Then onwards to, let's see, so that's the LANGO. We go this one, so we'll take a right turn here. Not the aircraft will do this for us, but in case of hand flying, just a bunch of right turns. And let's also get the airport layout. So 04 right. So we'll push back with the nose to the left, and we'll get ourselves onto either Papa or Quebec. If we take Quebec, it's going to be Quebec Delta Charlie. It doesn't, no, it's not going to work. 04 right, so it will be Bravo. Bravo. That's what to do. So we'll get onto Bravo. Hooks up with Zulu. So we'll just go either Papa, Zulu, Bravo. I think that's what we'll do. But we'll push back with the nose to the left. So I think everything is finished now.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
So are we. So it looks like we are aligned both left and the aft, so that's all the other doors are auto closing except the left and the aft. They still got the air stairs there.
Archer check completed. Bypass pin inserted. Locking gear. Release parking brakes. Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
So let's get this baby fired up. Engine number 2. Flap 1. Engine number 1.
Set parking brakes. Waiting your confirmation for good engine start.
I think this is quite an okay position like this. So get onto Papa, all the way down, and then left turn onto Bravo, Zulu, and then from Zulu right turn onto Bravo. Then we cross runway 30. Follow it all the way down to the halting point Bravo 2 or Bravo 1. Okay, we have 2 running engines. See if it looks good here. It does. So let's confirm with engine start.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
So we verify the takeoff speeds. 130 V1, rotate 131 V2, 134. So now that the engines are running, let's put this both.
Unlocking gear.
Switch over to the main generators, turn off the APU, also turn off the APU bleed. We'll leave the packs off for takeoff, but after takeoff we do need to turn them on. Otherwise we'll get in trouble with the pressurization
Oil
system.
has been removed. Left is clear, right is clear.
So before takeoff checklist, flaps 1. Do have a green light. Stabilizer trim, we need to set our trim. That was 6.4. Something like that should be awesome. Yeah, we see you. Very good. Thank you. Get the hell out of here. Runway turn off lights, taxi lights, they can go on. So if there's no further questions, then I suggest we start going. Parking brake released. Well, we just rammed another ground vehicle. Let's give way to that aircraft there. Oh, that's the beer. That's the gear button. Not the beer button, but the gear button. Rather, actually, the thing is a handle. So what we're going to do, guys? So Zulu left, we'll go left on Zulu. Okay, so then we'll just go. take a right at Bravo. So usually, like on the charts, it looks so much bigger. Bravo to the right. Let's mind our speed a little bit. Crossing runway 30. And now that we're on Bravo, just follow this all the way down till we have to take a left turn. Ground speed 33, a little bit too fast. So the auto brake goes to RTL. Can turn on the TCAS system now. Cabin crew, get your shit together, we're gonna take off. Landing lights on. Probe and steady. I think we're good. Perfectly clear there. The parking brake released, and let's get onto the runway. So let's go to Belgium. So everything is go, so let's start the timer. And we set our takeoff draft. Let's get out of there.
80 knots. E1. Rotate. Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. I'm thinking 156 is not very fast, and the eyebrows are getting closer. The stall warning. Lower the nose. Get some more speed in. Flaps up. So it's Copenhagen. Alright, let's turn on the autopilot. PMD on. We're passing transition altitude, so we go to standard. Let's lock the gear. Turn off the runway turn-off lights and the taxi lights. Let's look outside, have a look at the airport we just were leaving. So that's Copenhagen. Just like on the charts on the map. A striking resemblance. Okay, so our speed is now holding at 215 knots. That is normal when we're under 10,000 feet, and then once we pass 10,000 we will shoot up to the cruising to the climb speed. And that should be targeting 287 knots. So we can turn off the auto brake as well. Both engines are doing good. feet. Nose is lowering as well, so let's turn off the landing lights and we'll also release the passengers. They can go play with it or jump out, kill themselves. So where is the seatbelt sign? That's up here. So the aircraft now trying to target a speed of 287 knots. So after takeoff checklist, engine bleeds on. Let's do that, otherwise we'll get in trouble with our pressurization system. Engine bleeds actually are on, but we're going to turn on the packs. They can be on auto. right here. And then landing gear up and off, flaps up, no lights. Flaps up, no lights, landing gear is up and off. So after takeoff checklist complete. It's quite windy, and you can also see it. The aircraft shaking a little bit. Look at that. So lots of sun all above it. But it's full bar, you know. 283. 17,000 feet. So it will not be a very long cruise, because it's a fairly short flight. So 70 miles until the top of climb. And top of descent, 1507. That's in about 45 minutes or so. So we do have a little bit of time to prepare. Let's go ahead and check the weather at our destination. So Brussels was issued 1350 Zulu, 2009 knots. Visibility 10 statute miles. Clouds scattered at 4500, 15 degrees. QNH 1004. 9 knots. Started out with 10, so it's a little bit less now. But 9 is still noticeable for sure. So 20,000 feet. So we set the runway 25 right for our arrival. Runway with a wind of 200, that's fine. So runway 25 right. So let's look at the discontinuity. There is ANT, probably the latest, the last point on the arrival. Restart. Carry Antwerp. We'll be coming in via Woody. Like, oh my god, I got the Woody on the 737. Let's ban public transportation. Okay, so Woody and then Bravo Romeo 202. So we're descending here. There is Neki, there's Kirky. So we got Woody, Bravo 202, and then we'll go to Ant. So the Woody 8 Alpha takes a left turn here to Antwerp VOR. And I think after that we're basically left to our own devices. And then it wants us to go to Uvetti. Now Uvetti is not visible on this chart, but maybe Antwerp is visible on the approach chart. So let's get the approach chart, we'll need that anyway. So for Brussels Airport, approach ILS 25 right, and it was 25 right, wasn't it? 25 right, very good. Take this one, ILS for localizer. And then there is Uvetti. There's no real way of telling now where the Antwerp VOR is. But fortunately, we also have a plantage in here. So there is Uvetti. So basically, we want to go up from Uvetti. So Batak is taking us to Woody, left turn, Bravo 202, and then it's the Antwerp VOR. So now if we zoom out, get a little bit of a top-down view, if you will. And these can be quite easily connected, I guess. Well, this might be cutting it a little bit short, maybe. So maybe we should actually vector like due east and then south, and then we'll hook up. Let's start by putting in a range link. So the glide slope will start at B25RF, that is 6.0 nautical miles from IBR. IBR is the ILS identifier for runway 25 right, 108.9 and the track heading 244. So 108.9, let's first put in the ILS. 108.90. We got the ILS sitting there. And 244 degrees. So the engines are doing something. Everything's looking good. So radio 064 and the distance 6 miles. Let's also get 064 15 miles. So here's where the glide slope will start, and this is just a random position that could help us like plan our line up towards Ubeti. And sometimes I try, I think if you go waypoints, would be nice if we then show some waypoints here, but unfortunately that is not happening. So after end, not sure if we should go straight to Ubeti. It might be a, let's see, where is Ubeti? That is 5 miles. And Ubeti is 2,000 feet. Let's see what the aircraft, the FNC thinks when we actually align these spaces two together. So let's see. Ubeti. Execute. That's probably okay. We'll leave that like this. So maybe let's make that a 10 mile range link instead of 15, so /10. So we do not change what's in front of this flash, so the 064 remains. And we only change the second value. And then that sort of aligns a little bit more. It's just a little visual aid, nothing else. Go back to the map. Top of climb coming up on our way to LANGO, 21 miles. Alright, so let's also get the decision altitude for category 3 Well, let's just enter 100 on the radio altitude, and we should be good. So radio altitude 100. So reaching the top of climb now. Oh. LANGO speed 0.773 Mach. I don't know what the hell that is doing. So for the descent, there's EEL, LILSI, still 370, LILSI 370, Omoru 345, 2set 303. So what does it look like on a chart? This will only start at Woody for us. And Woody wants flight level 127. Bravo Romeo 202, flight level 100, and then down to and 7,000 feet or above. Just like on the chart. Then basically we'll line ourselves up to get down to 2,000 feet, and that's also the point where the glide slope will start taking us down. Here's the outer marker, here's the middle marker. It's fairly close to the runway, but we'll definitely manage, especially with the 737. But, you know, you never know what's going to happen. So let me quickly get a new refreshing drink and I'll be right back. You know, it's cool to stay lubricated. Oh, got some traffic there, that's pretty cool. Oh, don't have 'em. So differential pressure 8,000 I would think. Cabin altitude 8,000 or actually something like that. We do have 15 knots of headwind. and 230 miles until the top of descent. So 1350 Zulu, if there's new weather, that is 1420, 19010 knots. So it's still sort of the same, a few clouds 4300, 15 degrees. Because a lot more hydraulic fluids on the right side than on the left. And I wanted to see to change this layout here. I think you go to menu and PMDG setup, and then start to search where that is. And then my first guess will be aircraft displays. Flight director type, split axis, ground speed display on or off, only primary flight display. So let's totally turn that on. Get ground speed display here as well somewhere. Not sure if I'm seeing it. Ground speed, we have it up here in the navigational display. Am I missing something? This is for the right side only? No, that wouldn't make sense. Maybe it's when you're, basically when you're driving actually. Well, let's leave it on, we'll see next time. Here for 20 bug, 100 knots bug. Rising runway. PS pitch limit, that's not what we're looking for. Show landing flaps on or off. So maybe once you deploy your flaps, maybe they'll appear somewhere, I don't know. Let's leave it to off for now. Navigational display, connect RPS, so you could also say no and it will switch, it's not what you want. Range RxCS. Fuel fuel total display, yes, and that's this one. So if that's on no, you'll get just the fuel per tank. But I like the breakdown. So 202, 204, total 4.1. So there's a lot of options. So I found out that you can also like change the color of the sky and change the color of the ground. So if you choose the exact same colors, just flip them around, you can mess with the next person who's going to fly. Basically, this line is leading straight to our runway. So let's have a look at the go-around procedure. So revolving a right turn, climb on track 244. Which is the final approach course. At 700 feet, turn right on heading 015 and continue climbing to 3000 feet. Continuous direct way to sea. Missed approach with communications failure. You climb on track 244 at 700 feet, you turn right on heading 015 and to 3000, then passing 2200 direct to exhaust. Continue with carry R transition, carry right transition and one holding pattern. Where is that? This one, Bruno. And or continue with the carry R transition to runway 25 right. The runway 25 right, let's have a look at the airport. So that is us, 25 right. Airport elevation 100 feet. After touchdown, we'll exit to the left. Probably we'll go back, and I think here is the apron terminal area, right? Thinking of flying maybe online on VATSIM, but there were only 80s at these two airports. No control. after Uviti. It's 4.6 miles until Bravo 25 Romeo Foxtrot. It's the point where the glide slope should start taking us down, if I'm not mistaken. And that's right. But we should already be 2,000 feet there. That looks like the north of Germany and the north of the Netherlands. And that's correct. $14.20. 14.20, so this is still the latest weather. 190, 10 knots. So when reviewing my previous landing attempt at Sydney, I noticed that there was a, you could actually see on the navigational display, just like you see an arrow here. You're constantly having the same arrow, and all of a sudden, the moment we started drifting to the left, there was an arrow from the right with a huge wind, which was basically blowing us off the track. And this happened just when I was on final approach, and just going outside like this, also enjoying the city a little bit, for like 3 or 4 seconds. And then we had drifted by then already quite far, and we were totally unstable. And then instead of performing a go-around, I decided to just set the sucker down, and well, I guess we probably struck the left wing, the runway, and you know, you can imagine that's not good for anybody. So all like 486 passengers unfortunately were not able to check out. So it looks like a very nice and bright day in the north of Western Europe. Oh, 120 miles until the top of descent. So you can also choose to change this entire FMC up here. So this is like the old school version, the older style turn buttons or dials. Equipment Honeywell, if you change it to Collins, you will get a slightly different style FMC. And there's something interesting on the Honeywell, I believe. So the heading button is in reverse. So 10 to the lower left here, 10 to the lower left there. So that when one guy would change some of the positions for the bank angle, this is basically the bank angle, how this works. This one, but still, you know, doesn't really say which one it is, I guess. But let's leave it at this one. I like this. I like this one. So 100 miles to go. So we'll basically descend down to 2,000 feet. And then let the PNAV worry about all the step descents, basically, all the steps in between. $14.20. There's no new weather yet. So now 37 minutes into the flight. 3.7 thousand kilograms of fuel. And everything looking happy. So that's a bit lame, because we cannot open the door. We do not see the passengers. I guess if we go into the cabin like this, does it work? They're not spawning in. I think, again, they have all jumped. And sometimes they do, they just, they get tired of it. They're like, what, no napkins? I'm going to jump, you know? Well, it's their ticket, not mine. It wouldn't be the first passenger to jump out of the aircraft in mid-flight. You know, sometimes they get caught without a ticket, you know? So like the conductor, they will come, you know, and they'll be checking everybody's tickets. Ma'am, may I see your ticket, please? Oh, my husband has the tickets, and he had to go back to replace the car because the police were coming, and then he wasn't in time for the airplane, and now he is still at Kastrup Airport, and I'm sitting here in the aircraft. I can fax you a copy or maybe a photograph of the ticket if you want. You know, then these people get upset, right? The conductor is like, oh, screw that, man, you know, these tickets, we need a ticket. And then they just, you know, an argument might start, and, you know, Karen may start to get a little bit verbally aggressive, and a little bit, what's the word, entitled, you know. And then they get into a little sort of a fight, and then before you know it, like Adam just jumps out of the fucking window. And then you're looking down and you're thinking, well, she's getting smaller and smaller, look at that, you know. Alright, on our way to Eel. And I believe Eel was actually also one of the arrivals for Amsterdam, Schiphol Airport. Right, so 74 miles to go. It's about 10 minutes and we'll start descending, so let's dial in the altitude, 2,000 feet. So 14:59, so see if there's any weather update, or that might be like in a couple of minutes. There we have it, that's issued 14:50, 2009 knots, 10 miles, a few clouds, 4,550 degrees, 1005. Could maybe pre-dial 1005, I'm not sure, can we do that in this one? Yes, I think so. Why is it saying 3005? Oh, 1005. That makes sense. So we go back to hectopascal. One 1005 hectopascal. It's in. Now on our way to Silic, 40 miles. And then shortly after Silic will be our top descent. So for our descent checklist, pressurization and landing altitudes. So the pressurization will be landing at, I believe it was 100 feet above sea level. Airport elevation 175, runway 102. We can keep that. 108.9er EBBR. 108.9er, we have that. We have a final approach course of 244 degrees on both sides. Got our eye lesson here as well, and the course. The beam is obviously not detecting anything yet. 43 minutes into the flight. 3.5,000 kilograms of fuel, and the engines are engineering. They're looking happy. We'll set the auto brake. Check the landing gate at ERAS minimums, approach briefing. Still think these clouds are cute, look like little sheep. Some people they just want to start cuddling, and other people might get hungry. We also have some engine views via PMDG and a little bit of wing. You can see the leading edge. So it might be useful if you want to see if there is ice build-up or anything. This is not the most romantic type of view for me. Here's one right next to the engine. With also a very clear view of the wings leading edge to see if there's any ice build-up. When you go back to the flight deck, you'll also find a little ice or a wing inspection light. So if it's dark outside, you can just turn that on. It will shine on the wing, on the leading edge. And then you go, as a pilot, you'll just go inside the cabin and you pick the correct window to look out of, and then you just inspect yourself and have a visual. Looks like there's some more traffic around us. Also forgot to see where they went. Some traffic there. Alright, 10 miles from LILSI. And 30 miles from top of descent, 1508. That's like 4 minutes. Good, so on our way to LILSI now. And we got about 2 minutes to go until the top descent. 50 miles. Okay. So descent checklist. Pressurization, landing altitude or altimeter. I think that's altitude. So we got 100. Recall. No problems. Recall check. Auto brake. We'll set it to 1. Landing data VREF and minimums. So we do not have our VREF. We can get it from the approach ref on the init ref page. So 40, flaps 40, 127 knots. Plus wind correction. So that's 132. And I also like to check if that's actually in here as well. 132 sitting right there. Next to the basically the final approach. Landing data, VREF minimum, so we have our minimums of 100. We got the ILS frequency, we got the course heading, we got the ref speed, so we're all set up. Approach briefing basically completed, we checked that already. So after Woody, Bravo Romeo 201 I believe it is, then to Antwerp VOR, and then we'll go straight to Uvetti. It's a bit of a tight turn. It gives us like 5 nautical miles from Uveti to Bravo Tango, Bravo 25 Romeo Foxtrot. Let's see here. Batak. So Uveti. So 4.6 miles after Uveti, to the point where we want to be stable. So here call the engines to idle. And now starting our descent. So that's basically our approach briefing completed. Let's get the yoke out of the way here a bit. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 planes dead ahead. The wind 2009 and off. The landing 44. Yeah. A bit of a crosswind. Not too bad. Maybe in about 8 to 15 minutes there might be the latest weather update for us. We're expected live 15:36, 20 minutes. So prepping our passengers now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We have started our descent to Brussels Airport. Please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts and keep them on until sorry to unfasten them. Do you understand? Anyone doesn't understand, walk up to the flight deck door, knock on the door, and we'll ignore you until we get time for you. Okay? These are the few clouds. It looks like a sunny day. Other than that, on behalf of Ryanair and the EKCH, thanks for your flight. Okay. So that's been dealt with as well. So they actually think now that we're going to land at Brussels Airport. But there's actually, we're going to land at Paris, Charles de Gaulle. But we're not doing that. It's just like a little surprise, you know? Like, hey, surprise, man, look out your left window, what does it look like? Yes, that's the Eiffel Tower. That's correct. We're landing at Paris. Yeah, then we give everybody a refund. You know, sometimes we do that. You know, we're like, let's just go there. But that's what Arkady, what if somebody complains, just give them a refund. You know, we just give them a refund, like, just throwing money out. At the same rate, a chihuahua losing sweat to her tongue when walking up a flight of stairs. In the United States, what's the thing called? The Empire State Building. So on our way to Batak, 11 miles, flight level 192, speed 261. So we're on the profile, we're like 50 feet low. Not sure why that's not a indicator here. That's the answer to your log. We'll go Batak, Woody, BR 202, left turn to Antwerp. Just to make sure that nobody actually really jumps. Let's have a look from this angle. And there are some passengers. See, they say they're gonna jump, right? But they don't. Holy shit, don't fly into me, man. On our way to Woody, 18 miles, flight level 127. We do have an indicator here actually for our descent deviation, but we're not really deviating a lot. So 15:20, so I think a new weather report probably every 30 minutes. We'll have to wait a couple. So if you look at the map here to the left, we're basically over the Netherlands and then flying Belgium, Netherlands, Belgium. That's funny. But these people can say, yeah man, I went to Belgium, I went to the Netherlands, and then to Belgium, then back to the Netherlands, and then back to Belgium, and then we landed. It was crazy, man. And some people jumped. This lady called Karen. So the transition altitude 4,500 times 1520. So probably the new weather report is not there yet. Okay, on our way to Woody. No, we are at Woody, and on our way to BR 202. Flight level 101. Vertical deviation you can see right here on the right FMC. So 18 low, and here as well. So we're still following a decent profile, a decent descent profile. Weather check. Negative. So are we going to make that 7,000 feet at Antwerp? So far it looks like we will. Unless the aircraft figures 7,000 feet or above is also 10,000, and it's just going to chill here at 10,000 feet. So 8.7 miles, speed should then be 240. 10,000 feet, so let's turn on the landing lights. I'm not seeing oh there, wait. So it looks like we need to descend quite quick if we want to be at 7,000 feet. And this is bad for our speed. Let's deploy the speed brakes for a bit. Rather than have us lose all this altitude now than on final or short final. 7,000 feet. Now we're actually, let's go back on the profile. But cannot do VNAV at the moment. It's currently in altitude hold until we reach the Antwerp VOR. So let's just bleed off some speed, and then we can retract the speed brakes, FMC speed reset. Check altitude target. Okay. So VNAV, we can now continue descending. The middle mark of signal. So retracting the speed brake now. So on our way to Uveti, 13 miles. We want to be there at 2,000 feet, speed 192 knots. And what did it say? Ah, that's alright. We can actually turn off the anti, I think. So speed 243. Let's start up the APU. And let's also turn on the non-return of lights, taxi lights, APU start. So approach checklist, the altimeters. So we just wait. Oh, there we go, standard. Go 1005. Let's do a final weather check. Still the same. Got a bit of drag, so we'll reduce our speed a little bit more. What if we say we want to be at 180 knots at Uveti? Execute. Speed brake retracted. Five miles, still speed's a little bit high. It looks like the engine is now trying to go slower. Let's help it out a little bit. Let's manage the speed ourselves if we can. Not doing it. To 2 miles to Uveti, standing by for a light turn. Speed brakes are still out though. Let's arm the localizer. Localized, armed and captured.
2500.
Left 5. We are now 10 miles out. Let's arm the approach as well. Flaps 10. Let's arm the speed brake. Okay, so approach, altimeter set, engine start switches are on, continuous, speed brake is armed, landing is down, flaps, okay. That's our landing checklist complete. There's our runway. Distance 7.5 miles. Single channel, so we're on the glide slope. Five miles. So let's go for the final approach speed now. Drop the gear. Fucking noise. So 147, we can go even further.
1,000.
So 132 will be our final approach speed. So not quite totally configured, but here we are. Cabin crew, sit your ass down for landing. Auto brake or autopilot off.
Plus 100. Minimums.
Yeah, we're doing this. Continue.
$50, $40, $30,
Idle.
$20,
Flare.
$10.
Touchdown. Welcome to Brussels, everybody. Reverse is out. So runway vacated. So let's turn off the landing lights. So we'll park up here next to these two DHL aircraft. Parking brake set. That's it, here we are. So welcome to Brussels. Hope you enjoyed the flight. Anyway, so here we are, man. Thank you very much for checking, and I will see you at the next video. Bye bye.